Welcome, children. In this session, we are starting with a new topic, permutations and combinations. Let us go through a situation and then try to explore what can be a simple solution towards it. What can make our work easy. Now, the condition is suppose a customer forgets a 4-digit code for an ATM in a bank, and the ATM can be operated only using the 4 specific digits out of 9 digits from 0 to 9. So you can see any code can be made up of say 4 digits. In case we want all the 4 digits without repetition, that means none of them is getting repeated, then what those digits will be which we are going to use. They can be anything from 0 to 9. Now the customer remembers only the first digit, which is 5. Rest of the 3 digits he is not aware of. Now what he should do? Shall he explore all the possible sequences of 3 digits which are possible? But that is going to be a time taking procedure that must be very cumbersome, and maybe he may skip some of the possible sequences. Let us explore, can there be an alternative method which can make our work easy? We'll understand it through a simple principle, which is fundamental principle of counting. Let us first see what is meant by this principle, and for that we are using a simple example over here. Say there is a cinema hall which has 3 entrances, E1, E2 and E3, and 2 exits O1 and O2. Now we have to find the total number of ways in which one can enter these entrances and simultaneously can exit out of the hall. So you can see through diagram we can make out the total possible ways of entering the hall and simultaneously exiting it also. So you can see a person can enter the hall through E1 and subsequently can exit from O1. So one of the method of entering and exiting the hall is E1 O1. But there can be another way also. One can enter through E1 but can exit through O2. So the route will be E1 O2. Now same follows for the remaining 2 entrances. One can enter through E2 and exit from O1, or enter through E2 but exit from O2. And in the same way through E3, entry can be from E3 and exit can be through O1, or one can enter through E3 and exit through O2. So what do you see? The total number of possible ways in which one can enter and exit the room, the cinema hall, this is coming out to be 6. And if you look at these boxes very clearly, how many boxes are representing the entrance? There are 3 boxes, and exits are being shown by uh, two exits for each of the entrance we are talking about. So you can see 2 exits only. So one can enter through any of these 3 entrances and simultaneously can exit through any of these 2 exits. So 3 into 2 comes out to be 6. That gives us the total number of ways in which the hall can be entered and simultaneously exited. Now this gives us the fundamental principle of counting, which is also called multiplication principle. Now it states that if an event can occur in m different ways, that means if something can happen in these many number of ways, following which there is another event b which can occur in n different ways. So one event is taking place in m ways and simultaneously other event is also taking place in n different ways. Then the total number of occurrence of both the events a and B in the given order is m into n. That means the number of ways in which first event is taking place, and that means multiplication, simultaneously the number of ways in which second event is taking place. You can see they are getting multiplied. That is why it is also termed as multiplication theorem principle. One more thing, why multiplication is taking place? Because both the events are going to happen. A is to be followed by B. Okay, so there is compulsion, you can see. So A will occur and simultaneously B has to occur. So the total number of ways is M into N. Let us go through some examples where this can be applied. See the first one. It says John wants to go abroad by ship and return by air. So he will go through water, he will take water journey for going abroad, and through air he is going to return. He has six different ships to go. This is the total number of choices he has got, and four airlines to return. We have to tell in how many ways he can perform his journey. See, if he is going abroad, he has to come back also. So both the things have to take place. Okay. So we will see what can be the total possible ways in which he can go and come back simultaneously. Now, number of different ships for going abroad is six. So John can go abroad in six different ways. That means he can go by any one of the six ships. Okay. And at the same time, while returning, there are four options available. So number of different airlines to return is four. That means he can return in four different ways. That is by any of the four airlines. So what do we know? He can go abroad in six ways and he can come back in four ways. And because both have to take place, therefore total number of ways in which he can perform his entire journey will be 6 into 4. That comes out to be 24. Okay, then see another one here. It says a team consists of 6 boys and 4 girls, and other team has 5 boys and 3 girls. So there are two teams, both have got some boys and some girls. Now we have to tell how many single matches can be arranged between the two teams when boy plays against boy and girl plays against girl. See, two types of matches you have to make. Matches amongst boys, matches amongst girls. So boys are not going to play against girls. Okay. So separately both the matches are to be made. So we will find total number of matches amongst boys, and separately we will find total number of matches amongst girls. Then we will add them both to find the total number of matches. Now see, number of boys in first team are 6 and number of boys in second team are 5. Now we know that each of the 6 boys of the first team can play against each of the 5 boys of second team. See, there is no restriction. Any boy of one team can play with any boy of second team. So all the 6 boys of first team have got 5 choices. Okay. So therefore total number of matches between the boys of two teams will be 6 into 5, that is 30. How can you understand it better? See, the first boy of first team has got 5 choices. Okay. So 5 matches can be made with first boy and boys of the second team. In the same way, if we take the second boy of first team, even he can be made to play against any of the 5 boys in the second team. So second boy has also got 5 choices. First has got 5 choices, second has got 5 choices, third will have 5 choices. In the same way, all 6 are having 5 choices. That is why the total number of matches between the boys of two teams comes out to be 6 into 5, which is 30. Now in the same way we will check for the girls. Number of girls in first team are 4 and those in second team are 3. So each of the 4 girls of first team will play against the 3 girls of second team. That gives us the total number of matches between girls of two teams. So it is coming out to be 12. So these are the matches amongst the boys. These are the matches amongst the girls. That means the total number of matches will be obtained by adding 30 and 12, which comes out to be 42. Okay, going for our next one. See, it says there are 6 multiple choice questions in an examination. How many sequences of answer are possible if the first 3 questions have 4 choices each and the next 3 have 5 choices each? So question number 1, 2 and 3, they have got 3 options. Okay, but sorry, they have got 4 options. But question number 4, 5 and 6, they all have got 5 options. So for the first three questions, any of the four options, any one of them will be correct. In the same way, for the next three questions, out of these five choices, any one of them will be correct. So let us attempt it. Number of choices for each of the first three questions is 4. What does that mean? That means each of the three questions can be answered in 4 ways. Okay, different students can mark different option. So whatever option they are marking, they have got only 4 choices. So each of the three questions can be answered in 4 ways. So first question can be answered in 4 ways, and second question can be answered in 4 ways, and third question can be answered in 4 ways. So these are the total number of sequences in which you can answer the first three questions. Okay. In the same way, the number of choices for the next three questions is 5 each. So each of these three questions can be answered in 5 ways. So fourth question can be answered in 5 ways. Fifth question can be answered in 5 ways. Sixth question can also be answered in 5 ways. That comes out to be 125. Recall fundamental principle of counting. What is it talking about? We have to attempt first question. We have to attempt second also, third also, fourth also, fifth as well as sixth. So what does it says? The total number of ways, as we saw in fundamental principle of counting, will be m into n. That means number of ways in which first thing can take place into number of ways in which second thing can take place in case there are many events. So we need to keep on multiplying the number of ways in which those events can take place. So what will be the total number of possible sequence of answers? You can see it will be 64 into 125. This means what? Number of ways in which first question is answered into number of ways in which second question is answered into number of ways in which third question is answered, multiplied with number of ways in which fourth question is answered, that multiplied with number of ways in which fifth question is answered, into number of ways in which sixth question is answered, as all the six have to be answered. Okay, so the total number of possible sequence of answers comes out to be 8,000. So in these many ways you can see the options can be marked. We can get these many sequences of answers. See how beautifully the fundamental principle of counting tells us the total number of possible ways in which certain thing can be attempted. Now see the fourth one. It says how many words with or without meaning of three distinct letters of English alphabets are there. So with or without meaning they are saying because you have to make a word consisting of three letters. It doesn't matter whether it is meaningful or it is meaningless. So that restriction is not there. And keep in mind you need to use all three distinct letters. Now see total number of letters in English alphabet is 26 and number of letters required in the word is 3. Okay, so number of ways in which we can have choices for the first letter. So first letter can be chosen in 26 ways because all the letters are available. Now once you have chosen the first letter, because each letter has to be distinct, so second letter can be chosen in only 25 ways. In the same way, third letter can be chosen only in 24 ways. So see how many total number of words with distinct letters we are getting. Three distinct letters. It is coming out to be 26 into 25 into 24. That comes out to be 15,600 words. So these many words, three letter words we can make with or without meaning using different letters from the English alphabet. By now you must be getting a slight idea how the first situation we talked about can be attempted. Now see example 5. It says how many numbers are there between 100 and 1000 in which all the digits are distinct. Okay, first we need to see what are the possible digits which can be used to form a number. So numbers can be formed using these digits, one digits, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Using these digits only all the numbers are framed. Now the question is numbers between 100 and 1000. So neither 100 is included nor 1000 is included. We need numbers between them. So they are all 3-digit numbers. And the condition is all the digits have to be distinct. Okay, if we are making a 3-digit number, we have three places. We have ones place, we have tens place, we have hundreds place. So we have to see how we can occupy these places and come to know how many possible 3-digit numbers are there. So I will start with hundreds place. You can see hundreds place can be occupied in 9 ways. These are 10 digits I have written. But we are using only 9 options here because at hundreds place we cannot put 0. Otherwise it will become a 2-digit number. So only 9 options for hundreds place. You can see I have written excluding 0. Now coming to tens place. In tens place now one digit has already occupied this place. So forget about that. Now see how many digits are left. 0 is left and out of these 9, 8 digits are also left. So 0 and those 8. That also comes out to be 9. So for tens place also we have got 9 ways in which it can be occupied. Now two digits have already occupied hundreds and tens place. So out of these 10 digits only 8 are left. So units place can be occupied in 8 ways. So we can make out the total number of required 3-digit numbers will be how many? 9 into 9 into 8, because these are the number of ways in which the hundreds, tens and units place can be occupied. So we get 648 3-digit numbers in a numbers which are between 100 and thousands, and none of the digit is repeated. Let us go back to our first condition and see will we get an idea how it can be attempted. See here they were saying that the 4-digit code, okay, all the digits have to be different and the first digit is 5, okay, and the remaining 3 digits are to be found. So we can at least come to know how many sequences are possible for those 3 remaining places. So if we remove this 5 from 0 to 9, we are left with 9 digits. So you will see out of those 3 digits, one of the place can be occupied in 9 ways, then the next place can be occupied in 8 ways, and the last place can be occupied in 7 ways. So those 3 digits which are left, see how many sequences are possible to fill them. It will be 9 into 8 into 7. So that is a large number. But you can see the fundamental principle of counting makes it possible for us to make out how to at least get the total number of possible sequences uh, which can be framed.